We all know the Chinese consumers have a growing thirst for wines. Not only has the Chinese wine consumption been exploding, but the Chinese investment in wineries have been exploding too. This is for them to blend their own wine. In my hometown, Bordeaux, it is believed that 150 chateaux are under Chinese ownership. But do you know who's the first Chinese to own a Bordeaux vineyard? Well, his name is Peter Kroc. He's a Hong Kong-based businessman, and he's the first Chinese investor to buy a Bordeaux vineyard 20 years ago. The Château Aubrisson in Saint-Émilion is the first winery purchased by Peter Kroc, but instead of wine production, it is a place more about his family memories.
It was back in 1996 when my eldest daughter Elaine went to the States for high school, and we think that we need a place both the family, all the family members can stay together. So we think it's 6 hours difference from East Coast and 6 hour difference from Hong Kong. So we choose Europe. Because I was born in Vietnam, we have this fixed affiliations of French culture. So I choose France. That is why we come and we buy a vineyard not because we drink wine. I did not drink wine at the time. We just want to find a country house where the family can spend together, and also for the children to learn French language. And then some of my French friends, they said that, why don't you go to Bordeaux and get a vineyard, a chateau? And we came here, we looked around, and we think this is a nice place, a very nice, quiet countryside for children to spend their summer, for their vacation. That's the reason. Bordeaux is if you go to this city, it's a really beautiful city. Once you come to the countryside, it's very relaxed, easy to live, and then quiet. And I remember my son told me that he can count the stars at night. That's so simple.
My name's Howard Kwok. I'm the son of Peter Kroc. I'm the youngest of his 3 children. Our family is usually not together, and it's really in the vineyard when we're together, and mom drives and dad cooks and I help, and that's really when we share a lot of good memories together. For me, I remember the first time we went to the winery, even before we bought the winery. I grew up in Hong Kong. I went to public school in Hong Kong and never really been to the countryside when I was young. And at that time, I think I was 8 or 9 years old when we first went to Saint-Émilion in the countryside. And there was nothing around, there was only plants, there was only vines. I didn't know, I didn't understand. It was very different. It was a very different experience. My father is a very loving father. He came from a very, very poor background, and he really everything you see about our family came from him, and is because of him. So everything he does for the family, it's something that we can all feel. He's also a very demanding father, both to us children. From when we were very young, whatever we did, he wanted the best from us, and we see that. And I think over the years it was difficult, but now I really do appreciate everything that he has done. Of course, he's very successful. He is super sharp with numbers, so he's definitely very sharp, therefore a very tough boss to work for. But at the same time, you know that he's a very honest and very real person. So whatever he does, you know that it is for the good of the company.
Peter Kroc is a business tycoon. He is famous as a successful banker, and since his first purchase of a Bordeaux winery in 1997, he has now acquired 7 wineries, all on Bordeaux right bank. Every autumn, he hosts a harvest luncheon, an annual feast celebrating the grape harvest with his local team.
Thank you, everybody. We now have a very successful 2017. Over the last 30 days, I call Jerome and call JC almost 2 times a day. I don't know whether I should thank God more, but I know I should thank you guys all.
Yes, it's true, but we share the passion of the wine, the passion of the environment. He likes the farm works, the cellar works, and he's a challenge owners, and we share these two. What I'm focused, because we share this passion to make the best wine possible. And we are lucky to have Peter, who wants to invest technically to progress every year.
The most important things, the French will call terroir, is the land, the location of it. Even 1 block away or the road, left side and right side, will make different tastes of wine. At the time, I told my manager, you just do good wine. Don't consider about the cost, don't consider about the selling price, just make good wine. And it took me 5 years to learn that I need not just to invest, but also to find a good location, a better location. By that time, it was already go to year 2009. That was the first time we get 95 points from Robert Parker. The product you're making depends on the land, the soil, the weather, then how you make it. Once after harvest, you have the grapes. You already know 95% what the wine will be. The process of winemaking and improving just add no more than 5%. So since 2009, 2008, 2009, we start to look around to see whether we can go to a place where people think you can make good wine.
In 2012, Peter Kroc acquired the Chateau Tour Saint-Christophe. The property overlooks beautiful centuries-old dry stone terraces on a clay limestone terroir. It is believed that those are the oldest original terraces in Saint-Émilion, dating back to Napoleon times. So Peter Kroc decided to preserve its rich heritage and revive the vineyard terraces with the reconstruction of dry stone walls as it had been built in the 18th century.
This type of terraces is my place is the only place left in the original form in the whole area. Piece of history.
What the old farmer did in these terraces is to prepare the soil to have...
In 2017, Peter Kroc bought his 7th chateau in Bordeaux, a Saint-Émilion Grand Cru classé. This pushes Kroc's vineyards holdings onto another level.
In Bordeaux, 400 years ago, the British already buy chateau here. So in Bordeaux area, people really welcome foreigner. You walk around, you see many chateaus owned by Belgium, owned by German, owned by British, some by Japanese. And now, in the last 4 to 5 years, you have more and more Chinese, maybe over 50 of them, or 7, someone said over 100 chateaus owned by Chinese. Easy, they welcome you. We are trying to do what people in Bordeaux has been doing. We do not try to do something new, something different. We want our wine to be widely distributed over US, Europe, Asia, everywhere. People who drink wine, like wine, should have the opportunity to try it. That's what we try to do.
The good advantage of Peter is he understood what is this business. We are talking about agriculture, and agriculture is long term. So really Peter understood that when he starts working on a winery here, it takes time, and he really understands that what he does now will pay in a few years from now. So you can see today, Peter started Chateau Aubrisson 20 years ago, and Aubrisson now is a successful winery. So that's a big difference with Peter. He has integrated his business in the local way of doing business, and Peter is a super respected person. He's part of the group here, and there are no many people like him who are accepted by the group. It's a very good thing, and the nature of Peter being so easy and always smiling helps a lot. It's a long-term business, and now I guess Peter is getting the fruit from what he did in the past 20 years, and it's very well deserved.
I think after this one, I want to really get a better sense before I go to the next stage. It took me over 10 years to know what I should do now. It may take me another 5 to 10 years to know what I should do next. But at this stage, I want to get the best quality of products from what I have now today.
Apart from Peter Kroc, there's another famous name of a Chinese in the Bordeaux winery investment business. Her name is Li Li. Because of the recent boom in the wine industry in China, more and more Chinese are working in the Bordeaux wine industry. But Li Li is one of the very rare Chinese brokers in Bordeaux. In 2008, she came from Sichuan to Bordeaux to study wine business. At that time, she didn't know French, so after a few years, she mastered the language and even earned her second wine business master degree in 2014. Li loved music, and she is passionate in taking part in concerts. She even took part in the China's famous singing competition, The Voice of China, in the French and European categories. Now she occasionally performs in Bordeaux, and apart from the music world, she is a star on the stage of the Bordeaux winery investment in Chinese market.
La da da, la da da, la da da da, la la da da da, la da da la la, la da da la 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 la, la da da, la da da, la da da la la la, la da la 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 la. my job is to help the Chinese investor come to Bordeaux, visit the vineyards, and help them to do the transaction until to find the good team to help them to manage the properties. In Bordeaux, there are around 7,500 vineyards, and the Chinese right now they buy almost 200. So I could say that around 2% of the whole Bordeaux vineyards. So it's quite small. For the Chinese investors, there are two types. The first type is the investors, they just want to have a country house. They are looking for the nice looking properties. And second one is the professional wine merchant, because they already have their channel distribution to sell their wine in China. 90% the Chinese investors, they are the first type, because for them, buy vineyards to share with their friends, to invite their family come to here, to study French, and have a vacation house in summer. So this is the reason why right now when more Chinese they come to here, they are looking for the French lifestyle more than the wine merchant investment.
So in Bordeaux, there are about 7,500 vineyards that exist. There are about 150, sometimes as many as 200 vineyards that are available for sale. And of those 150 vineyards that are available for sale, about 80% of them are 5 million euros or less in value. So there is only a small number of vineyards that are above 5 million in value. And those vineyards tend to be focused on very prestigious appellations such as Saint-Emilion, Pomerol, perhaps Pauillac, Saint-Estèphe, Margaux, very famous brands. And sometimes the value per hectare can be 2 or 3 million euros just for 1 hectare. So we find that because our Chinese clients, in many cases, it is their first vineyard investment, they don't feel comfortable starting their investment relationship with Bordeaux, investing so much money immediately. So usually they will focus on the 80% that is 5 million and less. That's usual. However, we are starting now to see vineyard owners, Chinese vineyard owners, who have already purchased one, wanting to buy a second. And with their second purchase, they may have a more prestigious strategy. They may want something in Saint-Emilion or something in Pomerol, and they are looking very specifically for something more prestigious because they've learnt a lot and they've understood a lot more about, they're becoming much more comfortable investing more money. But mostly for their first investment, it will be less than 5 million. France is a different culture, and we have fantastic expertise here for operation and management. But operating a French company is different than operating a Chinese company. And so there is a cultural bridge that needs to be crossed. And again, we try to help with that by making sure that our Chinese clients have people who are used to working with Chinese culture. Maybe we even find Chinese people that can help in the operation control. Sometimes, in fact, Lily will even stay with the property for a few months after and help with a Chinese investor as they settle in through the transition period. So when you have somebody like Lily who is between the two cultures, you know, she totally understands French and European culture, and she totally understands Chinese culture, she is able to then understand or help both sides to understand each other. So in a way, she's a broker of cultures as well as a broker of a transaction. So those two things, I think, help a great deal. Understanding and investigating correctly at the beginning, and then making sure that the cultural bridge is built between the way China operates and the way France operates.
When I sell the property, the buyer always asks me, Lily, why the owner wants to sell his vineyards. The first is normally they don't have kids wants to continue this business because vineyards business it looks like very noble business, but in fact this is very hard-working job. You must get up very early and you must finish your work after your employee finish their work, and during the harvest time you never sleep and you always worried about the climate, the temperature. So to work in a wine business, normally you have a lot of stress. The second is their wine business is not good. They don't have any money to continue invest in this industry. So they decide to sell it. Then they get money. They're happy. And the third reason is because normally the vineyards is come from the family since sometimes it's more than 100 years. So until now, there are more than 20 or 30 shareholders in this company. So it's very hard for everybody to pay by the others' share. So they start to sell their vineyards to have less problems between the family. When they sell their properties, they always want to find a good buyer to continue this business. But for the buyer, they come to France, they buy the dream. They buy the French lifestyle. To buy a vineyard is very easy. When you have money, even we say buy a vineyard is cheaper than you buy an apartment in Hong Kong. But to manage it, you can to be the real owner, to make the wine by yourself, like Mr. Kroc, Peter Kroc. But also you can do like Chateau Milor. You give all the job to a team to help you to do. You don't need to do anything. You just receive the wine. You share the wine with your friends. Sometimes I have some clients ask me, "Oh, lady, I want to buy this vineyards." When I listen to these clients, this requirement, I say, "Oh, no, don't buy a vineyard. If you don't have time, you don't have your distribution, and you want to control this business, you don't believe the French guy who work for you in this place. It's better you don't to be a vineyards owner. It's better you just buy a castle, a house in Loire or in other cities, not to do the wine business." I will have minimum 60 different groups. They come to here, but I think 10% or 15% of them, they buy it. There are 90%, they say, okay, I give it up. Because it's really hard job to do too much, pressure. So I said, to have the vineyards, you must have the courage and the passion.
Aside from leading clients on tours of the winery, Lily also has a management role, requiring her to manage the local French team to ensure that they work smoothly with the Chinese owner. Like this winery in Castillon, which was just sold to a Chinese food and beverage multinational company earlier in 2017, with 55 hectares of vineyards and a very nice and modern property.
We come to Chateau Belair. Chateau Belair built in 1627. Right now, Chateau Belair owned 55 hectares vineyards. Let's get inside to have a look. So, wow. In French, we call this lustre. So it's very royal style. And this is the sitting room. And here is the salon. In the morning we have breakfast. This painting we invite a Chinese painter called Tan En, Master Tan En, painted last year in Chateau Bel Air. So this is the, we say the billard room. Billard. In France, the billard is different than in US. You can see there's no hole. So they have a special rule to play this kind of the billard. Down, please. So there is an underground cave. So it's a private place. And normally when we invite some VIP clients to taste our wine, always we get them to here. It's a very nice place. And here, we will go to the upstairs. So, Chateau Bel Air, there are 5 bedrooms. So this is the master room for Mr. Lu. And also we have the bedroom for the guests when they come to here to pass their weekend or their holidays. Because here we only offer to our friends and journalists or the clients or the guests. It's not open to rent it like a hotel or Airbnb. Since there are a lot of Chinese come to Bordeaux, invest the vineyards in this region, we could say the Chinese help the vineyards transfer to be a new life. And we are very proud of to attract a lot of investors come to this region. Chateau Bel Air, they invest a lot of money to do the renovation, like the other Chinese properties in Bordeaux. So we could say the Chinese come to this region, it's not only buy the house. Also, we invite a lot of famous wine consultants to help the Chinese properties increase the quality of the wine. So the inside of the vineyards transferred to a new one, give the property a new life. But don't forget, also the Chinese, we come to here, we give the wine the high quality and let them more and more famous in the world, especially in Asia.
Also a bit of white wine on Semillon, Sauvignon and Muscadel. But the estate covers 46 hectares today, and we have a bit more than 35 hectares of red berries. We just purchased 2 years ago a very nice plot of Cabernet Franc. We have a very famous neighbor here, which is Pierre Lurton, the director of Cheval Blanc and Château Yquem. And actually we bought 2 hectares of Cabernet Franc coming from a selection of Cheval Blanc, which is very nice. And we try to vinify all those grape varietals separately in vats, taking into account the different geology of the estate.
I believe there are a lot of Chinese in the future. They will come to Bordeaux region to buy vineyards. It's not only for the vineyards, also for this French style, French lifestyle. And my advice, the first advice is your first vineyards, don't put too much money in it, because you don't know if this is a good investment or bad investment. Second, buy a vineyards, also think about if one day you don't want it anymore, if this property is easy to resell. Third, do you have your own distribution to sell the wine? If you don't have it, when you buy the vineyards, you must make attention. This property you want to buy, they must have their very good distribution to help you sell the wine. Because the stock problem is the main problems for all the Chinese right now. They ask me, Lily, I have vineyards, but it's very hard for me to sell the wine. So these three questions, I think, for me, is the most important for all the future French vineyards owner. You must to think about it. You know, the music is like the wine. I love all the wine and I love all the music. So before in China, I started the Chinese opera. But after I changed my style, I started the reggae, the pop music, and right now I sing a lot jazz because I think the jazz match good with the vineyards, the wine. I can feel when I see the jazz, even the clients, they are happy. I think the music and the wine, they are for me, they're the same. It's just the idea to share with your friends, to share with your family.
Lily found her dream career in wine business. She also met her Prince Charming in the chateau, who is now her husband.
So actually I met Lily one day. I did a garden party at my house. I was just traveling back from Japan, and friends came over, and she was invited by a friend of a friend. So because of my work at the family winery, I get to travel, and we have some customer in China for a long time. And so we had one of our distributor offered me a painting back in the day, and I like, it was like a poem. So I decided to put it in a nice frame and put it in the wall. And when Lily came home, I was very happy to finally meet a Chinese able to translate this painting for me. So I showed to her, and she said, "But it's upside down, the painting. First you have to put it the good way." I think Lily, she's a very brave person, a lot of courage to move from China to France and to little by little build our reputation and our professionalism in the wine business. Especially, it's everybody say wine business is quite close because usually you work between families and generations, and for a kind of foreigner to come and arrive to make his place in such a quick time, it's very impressive. So I have a lot of admire my wife.